Hello guys, this is Mr.MelonHead here today, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you a discussion topic video. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking about mysteries within the Arkham series. Now these are some that probably don't make sense story wise or what ifs and general mysteries. So some of these I can't wrap my walnut around, so I'm just going to share with you my top 5 Arkham mysteries. And in case you're wondering guys, there's going to be more videos on the way, and we have hit 5,000 subscribers. That is absolutely mental. And yeah man, I'm going to probably be doing a video for 5,000 subscribers. I got to learn a few things and get the equipment ready. Just be prepared for that video, alright? Without any further ado then, let's jump on into this video. Mystery number 1. How was Jim Gordon recaptured in Arkham Asylum? Now this one is kind of a strange one, because it doesn't in the story entirely explain how Jim Gordon becomes captured again at the asylum. However, the wiki does, of the Arkham wiki does explain what happened. So let me give you a run through of the story. Batman captures Joker at the start of the game. It takes him to Arkham Asylum. Joker escapes within the asylum with all the henchmen, police henchmen there. Jim Gordon, Batman, and all the other prison inmates escape within the asylum. So the Joker somehow takes over via Harley Quinn. Once that happens, Batman has to then hunt him down throughout the asylum to try and, regain control and hand over the control to the rightful authorities. But in this time, Jim gets captured. Surprise. Anyways, once Jim got captured, Batman then had to obviously rescue him. But then as he rescued him, he noticed how dangerous the asylum was, and that this wasn't just a simple escape plan via Joker. It was just, Joker had been planning this for a long time. He'd set up everything like a circus show. And Batman fell right into the plan. So Batman, being Batman, decides that it's too dangerous for Jim Gordon, and he is needed within the city because people are panicking there, and so on and so forth. Plot. This story continues. Later on within that story, Jim Gordon is then somehow recaptured again, and is shown within the final boss battle of the game to be captured by Joker. Now, this wasn't explained at all. This wasn't explained at all how he got captured or when he got captured again. But what it shows is that he is being dangled down by a rope by the order of Joker, and he's tied up. But the questions are, there's only the obvious things like he got captured whilst going back towards the city again by the so-called henchmen or police officers on the boat. They were probably dressed up as good Joker goons. But if you go on the Arkham Wikipedia, it states that Batman instructed Gordon to go back to Gotham via the boat, as Gotham would need him, as I stated earlier, and he would be much safer. Gordon then reluctantly agreed and left Arkham Asylum, along with a security guard. And it says, somewhere along the journey back to Gotham, Gordon was recaptured by the Joker's henchmen and taken to the visitor center. I know this is the first Arkham game, and it was very heavily following just the comic sense. Like, you have that in some comic books where it's like, oh yeah, Batman went to this place and, it turned out he was somewhere else or something. It was a fake out. It was someone else in a bat costume or something. And it turns out he's there, That, I guess that's alright, but this, I think, followed too heavily on that, and it was just like, oh right, well, story element, boom, plot surprise, yeah, Jim Gordon's been recaptured, and it didn't really make much sense. As much as I love these games, I did really find it quite a nuisance. It felt like, I don't know, it just felt very comic booky, and I guess that's why it was, because this is the first Arkham game there is. Which is why I'm claiming this as a mystery, because it doesn't tell us within the story how he got captured. You'd have to look elsewhere online for this, and if you didn't have online, or you're living in some bloody mud hut somewhere along the world, you don't have internet, and this is the only thing you got on an Xbox 360 or PS4, then you don't know any better. So this is why I'm proclaiming this as a mystery. Mystery number 2. Was Jason Todd in Arkham City? Now this one will stretch throughout 2 games, because, as spoiler alert, Jason Todd was the main protagonist in Arkham Knight. The question is, was he in Arkham City, planning for what he was going to do within Arkham Knight? So we're going to jump between clips here, between both games, but all I'm going to say is that you should know who Jason Todd is. He is the second Robin, turned bad via the Joker's hand, and he has had just a desire to take out Batman, kill Batman, because he thinks for what had happened to him, the torture that Joker inflicted on him mentally and physically was because of Batman. And he orchestrated like a big army and all sorts within Arkham Knight just to take him down. And I'm not going to give any more spoilers away, but that's the premise of the game. In his hunt for Batman and to prepare for him, he followed Batman around. So within Arkham City, that was one of his key points to do it, because he was undetected towards Batman, because Batman had no idea he was there. He was very much under the radar, so no one knew who he was, and he essentially just followed Batman around within Arkham City, is what the theory is. So if you go into Arkham Knight, and you go into the Arkham Knight headquarters, he's got a few pictures here of Batman. Some of them with the Batmobile, some of them with with the third Robin, Tim Drake, on rooftops. And there was this one picture in particular where they had Batman with Robin, but it was in the Arkham City game. Like, you could tell the difference. Like, the rest of the photos were taken within Arkham Knight, but the rest of them, the one in the middle with the knife through Batman, that is the one that was took during Arkham City, because it looks like the in-game gameplay from Arkham City as well. So it just goes to show that, you know, he was there the whole time. He was hiding behind buildings and rooftops and stuff. It's very much a mystery, because it's not confirmed or anything, but like, he must have been in Arkham City, because that picture in particular doesn't show any significance besides what they're wearing and how they look. But why would they just put all the others of Arkham Knight in game, but the others being Arkham City? Now, we know what scene this is from, because it's a scene where Robin meets up with Batman after Batman tags one of Ra's al Ghul's ninjas. And Robin goes there to say, oh, you need my help, you're poisoned, you're infected and all that, what if you don't succeed? And then Batman reassures him, yeah, I'll make it, don't worry. And at this point, I think in the background, in one of the towers, or maybe on the church rooftop or something, there is definitely, well, there's meant to be, it says on the Arkham Wiki, that Jason Todd is there spying on Batman and Robin, and that is where the picture comes from. Now, in game, I have sort of pinpointed within Arkham City where Jason Todd would have taken the photo from, just going by where they are standing within the cutscene. And we know within the end of the cutscene they're standing sort of near each other, so we know what point that is. But what really gives it away within Arkham Knight with the photo, it's the Batman. Like we said, it's the Batman Arkham City graphics, but it's the bat suit and the cowl that gives it away for me, because I know you recognise the difference between the graphics between City and Night. It's a major upgrade, but in another sense, you know, they're very different, and you can tell just which one is Arkham City, because if you've played it, you'll know it. I'm now going to show you how I know where Jason Todd was, so I'll run you through it with this clip. Right, I've slowed it down just so I can have a chance to explain it to you, because I found it pretty quickly. From this picture right now I'm going to show you, see in this picture that Batman and Robin, and then Robin is leaving, so you can see a wide angled shot of where Batman was stood and what's behind him. So you see that gargoyle and that Arkham City billboard. In front of him was where Batman was, so I know roughly where Batman is and where Robin's standing. But in this picture we can see that the photo is being taken from above Batman and Robin, but behind Batman from his left shoulder. So if we look at that within in-game, from where he was standing, it would be somewhere over towards the gargoyles I first mentioned, building-wise, or some other building there for that facility, I'd say. I haven't looked too far into it, but if you guys want to try to expand on that, or try and pinpoint exactly where it might be from the trajectory of the photo, you can try that, and message me, and you know, that'd be pretty cool to sort of pinpoint where exactly he was just via that photo. I'd love that. Or it may not have even been him, it might have been a drone. But it does state on the Arkham Wiki that that's what Jason Todd was doing. Going around Arkham City, snapping photos of Batman wherever he could and plan what he was doing. I think it might have been out of jealousy for the third Robin, but that's probably for another time. Either way, it says also on the Arkham Wiki that Jason then met up with Joker. Not planned, but he did that, and he beat the living shit out of him. During, Joker said, I had high hopes for your plans, well, I guess with like a demonic sort of laughter. Didn't kill him, left him for Batman, but as he was so ill you couldn't tell that he got beaten up. But that's what the wiki says. Now this one will probably end up the same as the last mystery, as there is no confirmation that he was in Arkham City. We are probably just going to have to say that there is hints that he was, but it would be really cool if they put like some figure or black figure or shadow in the background of this cutscene, or just around Arkham City where Batman's in a cutscene and you can see like a shadow move in the background or something, or just something like that, something so far away which can resemble Jason Todd just a little bit, and it would have been so cool because no one would have known what that was at the time. And then if we were in Arkham Knight, we'd have found out that Jason was doing all that, and we could and that could have came back to him. But that's practically Jason in the background, you know. That would have been cool. Like they could have went for a double whammy. Like within Arkham Asylum, they had in the warden's office the plans for Arkham City. No one knew about that until they had to release like details about it. So it was like, wow, Jesus Christ. So you know, imagine if they did that within Arkham City. Though it would be more obvious, but a black figure in the background, anyone could have thought it was anyone, like Azrael, one of the ninjas from Ra's al Ghul's army, maybe even Robin in the background. Anyone would have thought that, but there's a little notification, like, and they wouldn't even have to confirm it. Like I would even easily like take it in my mind, like, right, that's Robin, that's the cool Easter egg for, you know, foreshadowing to Arkham Knight. You know, they wouldn't even have to confirm it. That's how cool it would be. Or even leave it open-ended to maybe foreshadow even more for something else. That would have been so cool. As the picture in Arkham Knight is the only thing keeping this theory all together, I would say that this is a mystery. Mystery number 3. Arkham Knight Bat Family scene scrapped. Now if you look at the official Batman Arkham Knight launch trailer, you will see this. This scene right here. Sorry, what is this scene? What have they done? They have literally pissed off anyone who is a fan of the Bat family off. This could have been an amazing scene, or one of the top 10 scenes in the Arkhamverse, where you have 2 of the previous Robins, 1 previous Batgirl, and Batman himself in one cutscene together. Imagine the chemistry they would have had in that cutscene. Like, interactions with each other, you know what the relationships are with each other in this Arkhamverse. It would just have been amazing. What I'm just trying to say, I'm just really annoyed at the fact that they put this in the first few trailers, don't quote me on that, and they have not delivered on what they've shown. It's the fact, like, you know, I think this scene was where it was just meant to be Batman and Oracle. Batman and Oracle talking about the whereabouts of, I think it's the Ace Chemicals hostages, or where the Arkham Knight has taken a few of the firefighters. I'm not too sure, but it looks like the original plan was to put Nightwing and Robin into the mix. Just imagine that. I know I keep going over that point and how I'm shocked how they, you know, took it back. Like, I'm thinking, come on, it's the supposed last game. You know, you think they go, oh, wow, they just go, yeah, have the Bat family together. You know, we'd have all this stuff. Yeah, maybe even play everyone in free roam, you know, like points in Arkham City where Catwoman came along. Things like that just would have been amazing. But yeah, I'm going off track now, but this is a complete mystery because we don't know these original plans, or, you know, what happened to this scene. It would have been really damn cool to see what happened within this cutscene. Like I said before, interactions between each other, just generally how maybe the Robins get on, maybe even some bad blood between Nightwing and Barbara Gordon, as in this universe there is Tim Drake and Barbara Gordon is now going out, which I dislike. But enough about the lore. There's not been much information about this scene, but it was in the trailers, so there has been a forum discussion about this within the Arkham fandom. And they say, some people say that, oh, it was just false advertisement and they left it in just for promotion of the game, which I can see why they do it, but doesn't do much fan service, does it? But besides that, I couldn't find much else upon this topic. I think we'll just have to leave this as a mystery because it may have just been used for just the trailers, which is a big middle finger to the fans, but it's still a mystery in my mind. Or it could have been known as a deleted scene, which I don't think they released anything about that. But besides that, that's what I think. It's a mystery to me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let's move on to the next mystery. Mystery number 4. Why were tank battles a thing within Arkham Knight? Now, this one really confused me. Let me explain, right? So, majority of you probably are thinking the same thing as me when it comes to this one. Because why would Arkham, the series that are known for their beloved boss battles which are just amazing. They're brilliant stories, and they get to the so-called finale of the game and just have majority of the game plastered with tank battles. Come on, when you think Batman, you don't think, alright, yeah, Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and yeah, all they could provide amazing boss battles and so on and so forth. But no, for some reason Rocksteady Studios and Sefton Hill had it in their mind that they wanted to make it all about the Batmobile. I know it sounds like I'm hating on it, but I don't hate on the Batmobile. I love the feature of the Batmobile. What I can't understand is, why did the Batmobile have to change majority of the game? In previous games, Arkham Asylum for example, you had Killer Croc's lair boss battle, where you go in there, try and find some of the fear toxin that Killer Croc has took from Scarecrow. It's amazing. You sneak around in there, you have a look for everything. There's crates, pallets you could walk on, and if you walk too fast or too much, it will come up to the surface and run at you. And then he's got a shock collar on his neck, and you got to stun that, and he falls in. It's brilliant. And sometimes he jumps at you at random. It's great, intense, scary, everything above, Anyways, and then you move on to the Scarecrow boss battles, where you're infected with his spores, and because of this, you're not in reality anymore. You're now in Scarecrow's creepy dimensional world, where everything's falling apart and everything looks like the back end of a plaster. So once you've entered his world, there's a big giant Scarecrow, and there's all these sort of like courts you have to get around, which are seen as part of the asylum, but everything's floating around, and you've got to stay hidden from him, because otherwise, if he sees you, you're dead. You fall into sanity, and you sneak around, clinging to the dark, almost like grasping for your life to be able to just overcome Scarecrow. And once you finally get to the top and you manage to pour the spotlight on him, the bat signal light, it's such a relief because it's so intense climbing, going through the course that Rocksteady has set up for you, and the fact that the light keeps coming around, the creepy music in the background. It's like something from Alice in the Wonderland. And then we move on to Arkham Origins, where you had the fight between Batman and Deathstroke. So Bruce Wayne versus Slade Wilson. And trust me when I say this, it is one of the most hardest boss battles in the Arkham series. When you first play it, you have no idea what he's going to do, how he's going to counter it. It's like you're almost playing your equal. And within the Arkham lore, Batman says that Deathstroke was claimed the closest ever to defeating Batman, one of the toughest opponents he's ever had. But within this boss battle, you don't know when to counter unless you've played it before. So it's a learn and play, as you go. But it's just amazing how he comes at you. He's almost, peak condition, almost like you. It's strange having someone as equal ability as you within an Arkham game. It's just amazing, and it's rare you come across it. I mean, it's very unique because there's not often you see someone else similar size to you in that. It's always some big fat brute running about with his flabbing everywhere, whatever, it's that sort of thing. And like someone like Bane, or someone like Killer Croc, someone like Solomon Grundy, there's always someone bigger. But this time you're matched in skill and not just overpowered by size. Anyways, that's that for that comparison, so let's move on to our final comparison. Right, we now move on to our final comparison, and it is the one and only obvious one, Mr. Freeze boss battle from Arkham City. Now, this is the mother of all boss battles within the Arkham franchise. The reason why I want to make this comparison is because it was so good, so diverse. You could find so many ways to try and take down Mr. Freeze. It wasn't just, alright, rinse and repeat, do this, that's that, boom, rinse and repeat. You had to use your brain and look at the gadgets you had on you, and you had to think about creative ways of actually getting to Mr. Freeze. And when you did manage to hit Mr. Freeze and, take a shot at him, every time you did that, you'd be limited to what else you could do. So sometimes you'd be there thinking, right, what can I do? I've just been on this ledge, he's now frozen the ledges, so I now can't do that. I've already done the window, I've already done all this and that. But there is enough variety to be able to take him down. And by the end of it, you actually feel like you've earned the win, because you've put so much brain power into it. It's not just, dive and do a similar rinse and repeat action. Alright, then you get all those comparisons, those 4 comparisons I just made, and compare them to this. Alright, but joking aside though, as in, I mean, a quarter of the game, I wouldn't mind too much. But it was just the fact that it was so much of this was implemented within Arkham Knight that it felt like it could have offered so much more, and it didn't really live up to its predecessors. The tank battle system was more like, oh, shoot your guns at this thing. It kept you on your toes, ready to play. You know, you always were like, crap, I might get killed there, and you're always darting out the way from their bullets. But if you listen to the whole game, it just doesn't live up to the rest. To go from those level designs and character fights, I think it just shows that they really didn't believe in themselves to live up to the expectations of what to deliver. I mean, just by the way I'm talking about it and the experiences it gave me, and and how much I enjoyed it, it really goes to show how much the way they did things really did impact how great the game was. I feel like we should be grateful for the fact that we managed to get those 3 games and still have that amount of design and dedication towards the characters, just generally good storytelling. Well, either way, I'm gonna label this a mystery because in my mind they completely switched gears. No pun intended, because of the car. But they switch gears and try to go a different route. Mystery number 5. What is next for Rocksteady Studios? Now, as previously said, Rocksteady Studios have announced that this is the last Batman game that they will be doing. Now, we don't know if that's 100% true because there could be another Arkham game, as WB Montreal was one of the companies which made Arkham Origins, so they could continue it. And there's been some leaked footage of a new game being made, but it might have been scrapped. There's been rumours of Suicide Squad games, Superman games, another Batman game, Batman Beyond game, so on and so forth. There have just been so many rumours. But from what we have in front of us and what we can tell, there have been Easter eggs to future games from Arkham Knight within the games and their DLCs. So, for example, if you go into the Harley Quinn story pack on Arkham Knight, you will find this in this window, Return to Arkham Asylum. Now this is an Easter egg for the future when they revealed the game Batman Return to Arkham, which was Return to Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Just remastered the 2 games. Now, one of the challenge maps in Arkham Knight, known as the Wayne Manor, I think, it has a piano and it opens 2 little wooden walls. And it reveals a board which leads details of what happens in Batman VR. It has things such as cells, which is the cell you see in Batman VR, like questions and then what happens with it. I don't want to go too much into it or even talk about spoilers, but the point still remains that there's a pattern going on here of Easter eggs being left for future games. Now you're probably thinking, oh Josh, is that it? You got nothing else for this? Well no, shut your mouth. I've got one more thing to show you for this. Now I think this could be a possible Easter egg to a future game, or potentially what Rocksteady could be doing within their future. Now take a listen to this scene, for example.
First Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, now this Arkham Knight. What's next?
I say we leave Gotham City for a while.
It's tempting, man, but Gotham's been good to us.
Yeah, it has.
Now I've thought about that scene for a long time and I can see how ambiguous that sort of bit of dialogue is, but what I think, right, is that you could tell that within the game Batman hears random thugs conversations because he hacks into radio communications, and because they're talking to each other they're obviously on the radios. Anyway, this happens throughout all the games, but they dropped this little Easter egg in, as in this was meant to be Rocksteady Studios talking amongst themselves, as in the thugs represent Rocksteady Studios and they were talking amongst each other what their next plan will be. So they're going, oh yeah, all these games that we've made, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, now Knight, like what else is there we can do? And then he goes, maybe it's time to leave for a bit. And he goes, I don't know man, it's been good to us, as in we've earned such a, we've made history, we've made such a profit, we've done so well with it. And then they're finally saying, very ambiguously, yeah it has. As in, they're thinking either yeah it has, when maybe we should stick to it, or they're also thinking maybe it has, as in just maybe it has, that's it, time to move on. Now this doesn't point us in any direction of what a new game could be, but it does leave the potential that Rocksteady Studios could be up to something, or could be secretly planning something, we don't know. from this time of this recording, nothing has been announced at all. Besides rumours and so on and so forth, nothing else has been announced towards us. Which is why I'm classing this as a mystery, as nothing's been confirmed, and there's been a hint and a tease of what could potentially come in the future. Now anyway guys, that is it for the fifth and final mystery. I hope you did enjoy. It did take quite a while to prepare all this and get it all together. Sort of stemmed from loads of different ideas and then whacked them all together, so I'm glad I finally brought this out. Anyway guys, that is all. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, favourite, comment and subscribe. And there will be a 5,000 special coming, don't worry about it. And I'll see you guys next time.